Understanding your struggle, are you walking through a season of overwhelming darkness? Do you feel isolated, wondering if God has forgotten you? Do sleepless nights bring questions like, where is God in my pain? Or why does this valley feel so endless? You're not alone in asking these questions, and more importantly, you're not alone in your struggle. The valley, that season of shadows, uncertainty, and deep struggle, is a universal human experience. Whether you're facing illness, financial crisis, broken relationships, loss, or spiritual warfare, the enemy's greatest weapon is the lie of isolation. He whispers that your pain is unseen, that God has withdrawn, that you must face this alone. But Scripture declares the opposite truth with unwavering clarity. God walks with you. This isn't religious platitude or wishful thinking, it's the bedrock promise of our faith. The biblical foundation, God's unbreakable promise, the assurance of God's presence, isn't based on fluctuating feelings or circumstances. It's anchored in His eternal, unchanging Word. Psalm 23:4 provides the quintessential promise. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. Notice David doesn't say if you walk through the valley, but though acknowledging that valleys are inevitable, yet God's presence is guaranteed. Isaiah 43:2 addresses our deepest fears directly. When you pass through the waters, I will be with you. And through the rivers, they will not sweep over you. When you walk through the fire, you will not be burned. The flames will not set you ablaze. God doesn't promise a life without floods or fires, but His presence within them, ensuring we are not destroyed. Deuteronomy 31:6 speaks to our need for courage. Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid or terrified because of them, for the Lord your God goes with you. He will never leave you nor forsake you. His commitment to you is absolute and unconditional. Matthew 28:20 records Jesus' final promise to His disciples, and surely I am with you, always to the very end of the age, not sometimes. Not when you're strong, always. To Corinthians 1:3-4 reveals purpose in pain. God is the God of all comfort, who comforts us in all our affliction, so that we may be able to comfort those who are in any affliction, with the comfort with which we ourselves are comforted by God. Your suffering is never wasted, it becomes the source of comfort for others. Answering your deepest questions, how do I know God is really with me when I can't feel Him? God's presence isn't validated by emotions, but by His promises. Faith means trusting His word when feelings fail. The prophet Habakkuk declared, though the fig tree does not bud and there are no grapes on the vines... Yet I will rejoice in the Lord. Habakkuk 3:17-18. Feelings fluctuate. God's faithfulness doesn't. Why doesn't God just remove my problem if He's really here? God's presence often manifests not as miraculous removal, but as sustaining strength through the trial. His goal isn't always immediate comfort, but complete transformation, and transformation requires the refining fire. 1 Peter 1:6-7. He walks with you through it because the through is where you become more like Christ. What if I'm too broken for God to be near me? Psalm 34:18 declares, the Lord is close to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit. Your brokenness doesn't repel God, it attracts His compassion. He specializes in meeting us at our lowest point. Recognizing God's presence, how He shows up. God's presence in hard times often appears through sustaining strength, an inexplicable peace that transcends understanding. Philippians 4:2-7, enabling you to function when you should be falling apart. Divine wisdom, a quiet voice of guidance when confusion clouds your path, often coming through scripture, prayer, or wise counsel. Human vessels, comfort delivered through faithful friends, timely encouragement from strangers, or supportive Christian community. God with skin on. Open doors, unexpected provisions, opportunities, or solutions that could only be divine intervention. Refined character, growth in patience, compassion, faith, and resilience that only pressure could produce, living testimonies of His presence. Every believer who has passed through fire and emerged with refined faith testifies to this reality. The cancer patient who finds peace beyond medicine. The bankrupt business owner who experiences provision beyond logic. The grieving parent who discovers hope beyond the grave. The depressed soul who finds light in deepest darkness. These are exceptional people with exceptional faith. They are ordinary believers clinging to an extraordinary God who keeps His promises. Your response, from fear to faith when hard times hit, shift your focus from the overwhelming circumstance to the unshakable companion beside you. Practical steps to embrace His presence. Speak His promises aloud when fear whispers lies. Journal His faithfulness. Record every provision, peace, and protection. Stay connected to Christian community. Isolation breeds deception. Worship intentionally, even when you don't feel like it. Serve others in their pain. Comfort multiplies when shared. The ultimate hope. The same God who walked with Daniel in the lion's den, the 3 Hebrew boys in the fiery furnace, and Paul in prison walks with you today. Your valley has a purpose, a timeline, and an end. The scars you gain become powerful witnesses that your faithful God carried you through. You may be walking through the valley, but you're walking toward the mountaintop. And every step of the way, God walks with you, never ahead where you can't reach Him, never behind where He can't protect you, but right beside you, holding your hand, guiding your path, and guaranteeing your arrival. The valley is temporary. His presence is eternal. Hold fast to this truth. You are never, ever alone.